I mean, a lot of people over the summer, I think they told me, they told you, I'm just waiting till prices go down. I'm just
Mm.
waiting for the market to soften. And you've had different authorities saying that, yes, rates may go down. You can expect it for this kind of property. What have you heard from the experts, and what is your gut on prices potentially going down or going up for now until end of the year? Keep in mind, mortgage deferrals are now up. CERB is up. There might be defaults, right? People who are like, shit, I can't pay my mortgage, right? Like, what are your thoughts on that as in relation to house pricing and whether someone should wait it out till the new year or jump in now and try to find a deal?
Hold up.
All right, I'm really, really excited as I sit down with Tanner Morimoto from the Real Estate Group, one of the top producing teams in Vancouver and, of course, the Lower Mainland. So, Tanner, welcome first and foremost. Thanks for carving some time.
Thank you.
We're going to get right into this. These are a lot of questions we both get. And so, look, we're going to do a bit of a recap for, I guess, the last 90 days of 2020. And at the time of this recording, that was the summertime. So now we're in October. Fall has fallen. And, like, getting right into things, what were the biggest trends that you saw throughout the summer during COVID? And I'll preface that with the fact that mortgage rates are historical lows. Like, I've seen as low as like 1.58. Even B lenders have 2.99 rates. That's what banks had a year ago. So and then you can afford about half more mortgage than banks, right? So you can afford much more than before at the lowest rate possible. That may or may not have an effect on some of the trends that you're going to break down, but like that's what happened on the financing side. If I'm a homeowner now and thinking about, shopping for the fall, and what should I keep in mind? What are the biggest trends from the last 90 days in the summer that are going to affect my decisions now as a potential home buyer?
Well, I think the mortgage factor is a huge thing. It's never been cheaper to borrow money. It's allowing people to kind of make that next step into whether it be a townhouse or detached house or even just entering the market in general.
Mm-hmm.
One of the trends that we're seeing quite a bit is, I think with the working from home and,
Right.
Maybe full-time or part-time is definitely trending eastward. We are seeing people that are, deciding, okay, well, where can I go that my money's going to take me a little bit further? Maybe I can get into that townhouse or larger house or detached house for the first time. So, that's something we're seeing quite a bit of. I'm out in the valley, and we're seeing a lot of people coming this way because they can just get a little bit more for their money.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's huge. And so people want to upsize. That is something that for sure we saw within COVID. Any other trends on the real estate side? And it's kind of part of the next question around, you mentioned that people want bigger places. So that's going to be either townhouse or detached homes, right? So if I'm looking to put some money down somewhere or put an offer down, are there any areas, and I know you're very specific to the Valley, but within the Valley or what you've been hearing, what are areas where there's either multiple offers or there's under asking prices because of there not being enough demand? Can we talk about that? Like, what should I watch out for? What might be an opportunity? I know it's very case dependent, but let's talk about some stories of clients that you've seen, and maybe that could be a bigger trend.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen it everywhere. I was even, we lost out in Maple Ridge on a multiple offer, kind of entry level home, but there's a lot of interest in those. That's what you're getting a lot of is the people that are making that next step. They're looking to get into an entry level in the next size property. So, for Maple Ridge, Surrey's seeing it a lot, Langley as well. Abbotsford is really active right now. Part of it is a pricing trend, maybe slightly under, and people are wanting to attract those multiple offer scenarios.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So they're pricing less than what it's worth to get people bidding on it.
Yes. Yeah.
Interesting. So if I see a place that's too good to be true, is that just going to be a potential disaster, or like should I know that a lower offer off the surface might actually mean I'm paying more of asking, or how do I look at that as a buyer who's looking at listings or going out with you?
It's just, I guess, just being really educated. You got to know your comparable sales, and at the end of the day, a property's worth what somebody's willing to pay for it, right? It may not be as ideal someone, but it may be perfect for somebody, and they may be willing to spend that little bit more to get into that perfect property.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So just understanding what market value is and where your offer is going to sit in relation to that.
Got it. And hey, for the fall, like what I mean, even just like any fall, what are the usual behaviors and trends? I'm guessing there's less people who want to go view places in the rain. How does that affect, I don't know, prices if at all, or the way people look? Like what do people keep in mind of for the fall? Like does that change from summer? Is it so hot now that it's just maybe the same thing? Like is fall really going to be a new trend or behavior shift?
I mean, typically there's kind of the fall market is kind of secondary to the spring. It's still a pretty busy time. As you get to the end of the year, Christmas and New Year's, there's a lot of people that just want to take a little bit of a break.
Okay.
Um, but it's been pretty steady throughout. For people looking to time things, sometimes near the end of the year is a good time. Like I said, there may be less people out there, a little bit less inventory, but there's sometimes that people that they really want to make their move. They want to have it done by the end of the year. So sometimes there's some opportunities there. Some people are a little bit more motivated that you might do well at that time of year.
Sellers, you mean sellers like we want to get this done. If we have
Yeah.
to settle, we settle. So there'll probably be more deals in the fall than there will be in the spring or summer, I guess, right?
Maybe closer towards Christmas, maybe a little bit earlier in January. Sometimes there's that little bit of a Christmas hangover. Not as many people out, but the rain and everything, the weather, it could have something to do with things. The serious people are going to be out there looking regardless. People that are just kind of checking things out, maybe they might not be as much, but the people that are serious are going to be out there regardless.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And do you find, just to kind of wrap up here? I mean, a lot of people over the summer, I think they told me, they told you, I'm just waiting until prices go down. I'm just
Sure.
waiting for the market to soften. And you've had different authorities saying that, yes, rates may go down. You can expect it for this kind of property. What have you heard from the experts, and what is your gut on prices potentially going down or going up for now until end of the year? Keep in mind, mortgage deferrals are now up. CERB is up. There might be defaults, right? People who are like, shit, I can't pay my mortgage, right? Like, what are your thoughts on that as in relation to house pricing and whether someone should wait it out till the new year or jump in now and try to find a deal?
With the amount of demand that we have right now, and interest rates being low, it's kind of hard to foresee something in the near future going down.
Right.
The price is going down. I mean, really, the things to consider, I guess, would be job security, whether you feel you have that, and if prices do go up, say 5% in the spring, which is typically the busiest time of year, will you be priced out of the market? Is now the time to move? Am I able to get what I want now, and potentially not be able to get that if prices do kind of continue to climb up?
Mm-hmm. So opportunity cost. So you see it really going up,
Yeah.
and people are just, if you're waiting, it might be a lost cause. Is that for all property types, condo, detached, townhouse, or is there different nuances there?
Uh, I mean, for me, it seems the condo market may have slowed a little bit. I
Okay.
mean, the high ends be moving. It's starting to move right now, but really, those well-priced entry-level homes are generally selling in most markets if they're priced correctly. So I think you'll still have a lot of activity around those places.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. That's amazing, man. Well, that's a good kind of quick update for potential buyers and sellers just to think about. And I guess in summary, we've got the low interest rates. People are getting out there. Prices really aren't softening too much. I mean, were there any under asking deals that you managed to pull off? Was either as a fluke or just because you saw an opportunity for like undervalued stuff? Like just going back to that.
For me, I mean, I guess the last one it was just a unique situation where the seller really wanted to find something first, but they wanted to have their property listed. So my clients, they are renting, but they are a little bit flexible. So there's some people that aren't willing to kind of accept those seller terms, a little bit of an unknown about when their completion would be. But they ended up getting a great place, and they're ready to move into it whenever the time is right.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So there are opportunities to get below asking if in fact the seller, because usually this is when the seller is moving and they've got to wait till the other place, like the other place they're moving into affects the place they're selling. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, they just hadn't purchased another property, so they're kind of wanting the time to purchase another property.
Uh-huh.
So we're flexible enough to kind of change the dates around for them and allow them to do that. Whereas a lot of people may not have been willing to do that, so maybe there wasn't the interest that there could have been. So we ended up getting a really great property for a really great price. So yeah.
Cool. So key point is really dig into the seller's situation, what they're doing, and they could be more flexible with you as long as you're kind of flexible as well as far as moving date goes, or it's kind of like knowing more about the seller.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Which is obviously a key part of your job. So yeah, I think that was great. And then you're saying pretty much, I mean, entry level homes, bigger spaces are obviously huge for COVID. Those are selling pretty well. It didn't seem like waiting's going to do much right now. Rates, by the way, are projected to stay low on the variable side for a while. I know most people like their fixed rates, and there is some talk about those potentially starting to climb in the new year. So, but the biggest thing too is like if you are renting right now, well, you're paying rent, you're paying someone else's mortgage, right? Places are going up. Generally speaking, unless you're buying a like
Yeah.
crazy luxury or maybe a certain condo, prices are going up. So you're going to pay more for the same property later. If the market gets hotter, multiple offers, you pay more, right? And let's face it, psychologically, you can't really make a place your own unless you're invested into it, right?
No,
Um,
exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Principal residents, for the first time, start putting that money towards your own equity, right? If it's a long-term thing for you, it's you might as well settle in, start getting some of your own equity.
Totally. 100%. So great to talk about trends and just kind of how the summer biz has really continued into the fall business. That's my main takeaway. So yeah, if you're here kind of clinging on, think about when the right time is for you. Think about your opportunity costs. Think about where rates are at. Think about what you're paying now, and you, as Tanner said here, you want to start paying into your own equity. Take advantage of the good rates, but do it all thoroughly and never rush it. That's the key. Any last thoughts on your end, Tanner, before we kind of wrap up here?
No, that's about it. Like I said, interest rates are all-time lows. If people are thinking about it, reach out to Paul. He'll definitely help you out and get you a great rate. Move on to that next step.
I love, which will be you, of course, helping them actually do the get negotiation and look at the strata documents and all the nuances.
All those
What's that?
all those good things.
All those good things, man. Yeah, exactly. Hey, well, thanks again, Tanner. Really appreciate it. Great rapid fire session. I look forward to having you and maybe some other team members back on for the next quarter as we kick off 2021. Be safe, and thanks again for your insights. Really appreciate it.
Okay, thanks so much, Paul.
You bet. Take it easy.
You too.